When most of us think of Chinese food, our minds go straight to the fiery, numbing heat of Sichuan or the delicate dim sum of Canton. But the actual bedrock of northern Chinese cooking comes from a province on the eastern coast, Shandong. Shandong cooking, or Lu cuisine, holds a unique status. Of China's 8 great cuisines, it is the only one that developed entirely on its own, organically, without heavy outside influence. It became the template for almost everything eaten in the north. If you want to understand the dining habits of Beijing, the hearty meals of the northeastern provinces, or even the opulent feasts of the imperial palace, you have to look at the techniques perfected by Shandong chefs. It operates as the basic culinary grammar that built an empire's palate. About 2,500 years ago, during the spring and autumn period, the Yellow River Basin was the economic center of the Zhou dynasty. Here is a map of the ancient Qi and Lu states in modern Shandong. Notice the geography. The Yellow River converges with fertile plains beside a massive eastern coastline. This gave the region a monopoly on sea salt, vast harvests of wheat, and endless seafood. This abundant region was also the birthplace of Confucius. His philosophy of social harmony and strict order didn't stop at human behavior. It extended directly to the dinner plate. Confucius laid out rigid dietary laws. He dictated that food must not be eaten if it was out of season, improperly butchered, or served without its precise matching seasoning. By applying strict philosophical standards to local ingredients, regional eating habits were elevated into a highly codified ritual, distinctly separating Lu cuisine from everyday peasant cooking. The foundation of Lu cuisine relies on 2 distinct kitchens. The first is the Jiaodong style, developed by fishing communities along the peninsula. This coastal approach relies heavily on fresh catches and light, crystal-clear broths. For a Jiaodong chef, the ultimate goal is to process seafood while meticulously preserving its natural sweetness and delicate texture. Achieving this requires exact, intensive knife work. Chefs use specific cuts and calculated ratios of scallion, ginger, and garlic to completely neutralize any unwanted fishy odors without masking the core ingredient. The ultimate test of this philosophy is braised sea cucumber with scallion. The sea cucumber absorbs the savory, umami-rich broth, while the scallions eliminate any trace of the ocean's funk. Through these precise methods, the Jiaodong coast established the uncompromising standard by which all of northern China evaluates the purity of its seafood. The second pillar, the Jinan style, is rooted in Shandong's agricultural inland. This kitchen relies on hearty wheat staples like steamed buns and noodles rather than rice. The flavor profiles here are robust. They're built on towering Jiangchu scallions, which can grow taller than a person, and long-fermented medicinal dark Shandong vinegar. This illustrates bao, the Jinan technique of extreme high-heat stir-frying. Raw ingredients are seared instantly in boiling oil to lock in their juices. Then the excess oil is poured out before seasonings are tossed back in, ensuring the final dish is flavorful but never greasy. This rapid, explosive heat contrasts directly with the pa technique, where ingredients are carefully shaped, coated in batter, fried until golden, and then slowly braised in a rich sauce. Dishes like the sweet and sour carp or Deijiao braised chicken represent the physical result of these methods. Because the chicken is fried then braised for hours, the meat detaches from the bone with a single touch, allowing for a consistent, reproducible quality that was prized for its efficiency and luxury. The extreme speed of the bao fry and the meticulous structure of the pa braise created a rigorous system of professional cooking. These techniques offered the precision and speed necessary for a kitchen to function at the scale of an empire's court. Armed with advanced wok techniques and the high society prestige of Confucian philosophy, the master Shandong chefs eventually migrated north. By the time of the Ming and Qing dynasties, cooks trained in the Lu tradition had almost entirely monopolized the massive imperial kitchens of the Forbidden City. This migration is why famous modern regional styles, like the food of Beijing and Tianjin, are essentially direct offshoots of Shandong cooking. The emperor's table, the absolute apex of Chinese wealth and power, was ultimately dictated by the coastal knifework and inland wok fires of Shandong. Today, the most direct surviving link to this imperial past is Kung Fu, or Confucian mansion cuisine. It serves as the living blueprint for the modern Chinese formal banquet. A Kung Fu-style banquet follows a strict sequence: cold appetizers, hot dishes, then noodles for longevity. Notice the fish. Its head must point directly toward the guest of honor. Never flip it. An ancient coastal superstition equates a flipped fish to a capsized fishing boat. These specific, highly structured rules of dining etiquette persist today, dictating the flow of modern high society gatherings and diplomatic state dinners across China. Shandong Cuisine serves as a 2,500-year-old unbroken chain of respect, rigorous technique, and harmony served on a plate.